Hello, it's Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for our September 23rd lesson in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're reading out of the original edition, Lesson 267. My heart is beating in the peace of God. My heart is beating in the peace of God. My heart is beating in the peace of God. Surrounding me is all the life that God created in His love. It calls to me in every heartbeat and in every breath, in every action and in every thought. It calls to me in every heartbeat, in every breath, in every action and in every thought. Peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Now my mind is healed, and all I need to save the world is given me. Each heartbeat brings me peace. Each breath infuses me with strength. I am a messenger of God, directed by His voice, sustained by His love, and held forever, quiet and at peace within His loving arms. Each heartbeat calls His name, and everyone is answered by His voice, assuring me I am at home in Him. And the prayer says, let me attend your answer. Let me attend your answer, not my own. Father, my heart is beating in the peace the heart of love created. It is there and only there that I can be at home. Father, my heart is beating in the peace the heart of love created. My heart is beating in the peace the heart of love created. It is there and only there that I can be at home. He associates our thoughts, our body, our thoughts, our actions, our breath, and our heart, all as in harmony with God. So, as you do this lesson today, settle into that feeling of actually feel your heartbeat. Find a place in your body where you can feel it, and have it, and just be aware of it. And as you're aware of your heartbeat, if you can feel it in your heart, if you feel the pulse in your body somewhere else, where it doesn't matter so much, but just feel the feeling of your heartbeat, and watch your breath as it, every 3 or 4 or 5 heartbeats, one inhalation and one exhalation. And find that rhythm and just let it kind of guide you into a deeper place of peace. And remember, we're supposed to be doing our longer meditation morning and evening. And how long are we supposed to take? Now, if you say 15 minutes, that was what he required at the last part of our undoing process. Part 1 of the text was 15 minutes twice a day. And then he came to this part where we're practicing the principles of miracle-mindedness, and we're learning to make that just a normal part of our life, to be seeing the beauty, seeing God, feeling His heartbeat. And in this particular meditation, he says, do it as long as what it makes you feel satisfied, as long as you meet your deepest need. So stay until you feel satisfied, whether that's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. You get to decide now. We're not using time anymore. Some of us may still want to use a clock and set it for 15 minutes. I oftentimes do, just because I know that I can sometimes spend a lot of time in my meditation, and I know that I've got other responsibilities I need to do. So rather than either spending a long time or falling asleep, which is also possible, then I'd go ahead and set it. I usually set mine for 15 minutes, and at 15 minutes, I think to myself, I don't need to do anything else. I think I'll stay right here and turn my alarm off and just keep meditating. Sometimes and I don't always do that, but what I'm basically encouraging you to do is make sure you do your longer period in the morning and in the evening, and your hourly remembrances of the lesson and your thankfulness to God. Tune into your heartbeat today. Take a nice deep breath and feel your heartbeat and say, my heart is beating in the peace of God. All right, okay, let's take a look at our text reading. And we're in the last section of chapter 6, Attack and Fear. We are ready for paragraph 52. I think we'll start at 51. And it's under the section called The Only Answer. And we'll start with paragraph 51. While you're turning there, let me just tell you a moment about English time, French time, garden time, time. Anyway, it's got a number of names that people use for it. Its actual scientific name is Thymus vulgaris, Thymus vulgaris, Vulgaris. I found this on the ShawWellnessClinic.com website. It said it helps fight respiratory infection and is a natural expectorant. Also is high in antioxidants. But it really helps if you get a cold or you feel a cold coming on, or I've seen garden time recommended. Make a tea out of it is what I've heard it said, and that's soothes upset stomach and has antiseptic qualities. It's packed with vitamin C, good source of vitamin A, fiber, copper, iron, manganese. So, making a tea out of it smells good. That's got to be healthful, just smelling it. It's typically used in like roasted or steamed veggies, soups, pastas, and of course pizza. Everybody, and have you all been trying any of the cauliflower pizza? Making your crusts out of cauliflower. Anyway, a little less for people that are gluten intolerant or want to avoid just a lot of calories. Highly nutrient value of cauliflower crusts. All right, my heart is beating in the peace of God. Okay, let's go back and look at our text now. Yet the kingdom and all that you have created there will have great reality for you because they are beautiful and true. Beautiful and true. In the kingdom where you are and what you are is perfectly certain. There is no doubt there because the first question was never asked. What am I? Finally, having finally been wholly answered, it has never been. Being alone lives in the kingdom. Being alone lives in the kingdom where everything lives in God without question. The time that was spent on questioning in the dream has given way to creation and to its eternity. 52. You are as certain as God because you are as true as He is. But what was once quite certain in your minds has become only the ability for certainty. The introduction of abilities into being was the beginning of uncertainty, because abilities are potentials, not accomplishments. Your abilities are totally useless in the presence of God's accomplishments, and also of yours. Accomplishments are results which have been achieved. When they are perfect, abilities are meaningless. It is curious that the perfect must now be perfected. We're going to talk a lot about this, and I want you to think about this as we read along. Let me finish this paragraph, then we'll talk about it. It is curious that the perfect must now be perfected. In fact, it is impossible that the perfect need to be perfected. In fact, it is impossible. You must remember, however, that when you put yourself in an impossible situation, you believed that the impossible was possible. So what is this impossible situation we put ourselves in? Well, we put ourselves in a place where we believe that death is real, that sin is real, that love is lacking. Well, that's an impossible situation, and we need to be freed from that. And remember, and what I want you to think about as we read this, and I want you to try to live this as best you can, is that when you see a brother that's having a difficulty, or a sister, you don't want to camp out on the difficulty and try to help them correct it. What you want to do is look right beyond the error and see the truth that's always been shining, because that's what's real. It'll work incorrectly in what you're trying to create and what God's created. If you see the wrong and bring that up as if it's real and it's really occurring, and then say, but there's a better way. What we want to do is just do the best you can to just overlooking that and seeing what would fill its place naturally and that is already there, maybe in embryonic form, but you camp out and hold on to that. We want to side with God in this, and keep that in mind in your practicing, but keep that in mind as we're reading this right now to help you get a better sense of the way God treats us and the way we need to treat each other. Abilities must be developed or you cannot use them. This is not true of anything that God created, but it is the kindest solution possible to what you have made. Abilities must be developed or you cannot use them. This is not true of anything that God created, but it is the kindest solution possible to what you have made. In an impossible situation, you can develop your abilities to the point where they can get you out of it. You have a guide to how to develop them, but you have no commander except yourself. This leaves you in charge of the kingdom with both a guide to find it and a means to keep it. You have a model to follow who will strengthen your command and never detract from it in any way. You therefore retain the central place in your perceived enslavement, a fact which itself demonstrates that you are not enslaved. Let's read that again. You have a model to follow who will strengthen your command and never detract from it in any way. You therefore retain the central place in your perceived enslavement, a fact which itself demonstrates that you are not enslaved. You get to call the shots. We might as well call the ones that make us happy. We might as well see the beauty. Okay, this is the point, because that's what's real. Ask, as I've said before, and he's told us this, ask for what is already occurring, and you have to receive your answer. So just say, okay, I'm not going to see anything except God's beauty, because that's what's real. That's what always is going on in every exchange, always. Okay, paragraph 54. You are in an impossible situation only because you thought it was possible to be in one. You would be in an impossible situation if God showed you your perfection and proved to you that you were wrong. There's what I was trying to say. If he shows you that your perfection, but then also showed you that you were wrong in what you were doing, well, you'd be in a really impossible situation because he had just said that you were wrong. This would demonstrate that the perfect were inadequate to bring themselves to the awareness of their perfection, and thus side with the belief that those who have everything need help and are therefore helpless. This is the kind of reasoning which the ego engages in, but God, who knows that his creations are perfect, does not insult them. This would be as impossible as the ego's notion that it has insulted him. This would be as impossible as the ego's notion that it has insulted him. And remember, the ego is a nothing. It's a make believe. It's a mind gone. It's a mind that has accepted the idea of separation, that forgot who it was, said, "Who am I?" and sees a world looking back with that basic premise. It's just an error of thought. It's a dream, but it's not real, no matter how much you think it's real. 55. That is why the Holy Spirit never commands. To command is to assume inequality, which the Holy Spirit demonstrates does not exist. Fidelity to premises is a law of mind, and everything God created is faithful to His laws. Fidelity to other laws is also possible, however, not because the laws are true, but because you made them. What would be gained if God proved to you that you have thought insanely? Okay, listen to this. What would be gained if God proved to you that you have thought insanely? Can God lose His own certainty? We have frequently stated that what you teach, you are. Would you have God teach you that you have sinned? If He confronted the self you made with the truth He created for you, what could you be but afraid? You would doubt your sanity, which is the one thing in which you can find the sanity He gave you. You would doubt your sanity, which is the one thing in which you can find the sanity He gave you. 56. God does not teach. To teach is to imply a lack, which God knows is not there. God does not teach. To teach implies a lack, which God knows there is no lack. You haven't ever sinned, only in a dream that is not real. Teaching aims at change, but God created only the changeless. The separation was not a loss of perfection, but a failure in communication. Separation was not a loss in perfection, but a failure in communication. A harsh and strident form of communication arose as the ego's voice. It could not shatter the peace of God, but it could shatter yours because you believed in it. God, matter of fact, you made it. God did not blot it out because to eradicate it would be to attack it. Being questioned, He did not question. He merely gave the answer. His answer is your teacher, the Holy Spirit. Okay, tomorrow we will go to have, give all to all. That'll be tomorrow. Let me write where we're at so I don't forget. All right, to have, give all to all for tomorrow. All right, let's go look at what is the body and read it. My heart is beating in the peace of God. My heart is beating in the peace of God. What is the body? The body is a fence the Son of God imagines He has built to separate parts of Himself from other parts. It is within this fence He thinks He lives, to die as it decays and crumbles. For within this fence He thinks that He is safe from love. Identifying with its safety, He regards Himself as what His safety is. How else could He be certain He remains within the body, keeping love outside? The body will not stay, yet this He sees as double safety. For the Son of God's impermanence is proof His fences work and do the task His mind assigns to them. For if His oneness still remained untouched, who could attack and who could be attacked? Who could be victor? Who could be His prey? Who could be victim? Who the murderer? And if He did not die, what proof is there that God's eternal Son can be destroyed? The body is a dream. The body is a dream. Like other dreams, it sometimes seems to picture happiness, but can quite suddenly revert to fear, where every dream is born. For only love creates in truth, and truth can never fear. Made to be fearful, must the body serve the purpose given it. But we can change the purpose which the body will obey by changing what we think that it is for. The body is the means by which God's Son returns to sanity. The body is the means by which God's Son returns to sanity. Though it was made to fence him into hell without escape, yet has the goal of heaven been exchanged for the pursuit of hell. The Son of God extends his hand to reach his brother and to help him walk along the road with him. Now is the body holy. Now it serves to heal the mind that it was made to kill. You will identify with what you think will make you safe. Whatever it may be, you will believe that it is one with you. Your safety lies in truth and not in lies. Love is your safety. Fear does not exist. Identify with love and you are safe. Identify with love and you are home. Identify with love and find yourself. All right, my heart is beating in the peace of God. You know, today I didn't actually set my alarm this morning when I meditated, but I was just trying to do what I was sharing with you about just feeling the heartbeat and kind of falling into that rhythm of feeling the heartbeat and feeling the wind, the breath, the holy pneumo coming in and out in harmony with the heartbeat, and just kind of falling into a deeper state of peace. And you know, you get to a place where you feel really, really serene, joyfully serene. And you kind of like, I had other things I need to go do, and I didn't really want to leave because it felt so good. This is what we want all our meditations to be. In the process of getting in touch with your heartbeat, I want to tell you something that my teacher told me. This is my teacher, my yoga teacher, Charlie. He said, when you first come into the feeling of your heartbeat, it might frighten you. And if that happens, just know that that's just another ploy of the ego. Charlie didn't use Course in Miracles terminologies so much, but he had the same message. But he saw it that if you feel your heartbeat and you think that you might you expand it to the place, and you're not used to, you expand your awareness to the point to be able to really feel and hear your heartbeat. It can be almost overwhelming, but just smile and be glad that you're beating in the peace of God. My heart is beating in the peace of God. Take that with you and know that you're perfectly safe. All right? Just want to point that out. My heart is beating in the peace of God. Surrounding me is all the life that God created in His love. It calls to me in every heartbeat and in every breath, in every action and in every thought. Peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Now my mind is healed, and all I need to save the world is given me. Each heartbeat brings me peace. Each heartbeat brings me peace. Let it do that. Let each heartbeat bring you peace. Each breath infuses me with strength. He's connecting your heartbeat and your breath. Each heartbeat brings me peace. Each breath infuses me with strength. I am a messenger of God, directed by His voice, sustained by Him in love, and held forever quiet and at peace within His loving arms. Each heartbeat calls His name, and every one is answered by His voice, assuring me I am at home in Him. Let me attend your answer, not my own. Father, my heart is beating in the peace the heart of love created, and it is there and only there that I can be at home. My heart is beating in the peace of God.